Hello. I'll be presenting my research today because it's part of an ongoing project and I hope to have an additional piece of this research to present in Rochester in 2022. So without further ado, I'll be talking today about the new family album, Figuring the Disguised Mother. At first glance, this image shows us nothing remarkable. It's a photograph, a cabinet card of a child in what might be a white christening gown. The work of the original Fowler studio of 238 North 8th Street in Philadelphia, this image was made in a studio, quite clearly. A painted outdoor scene fades into the background, directing our attention to the subject who's perched on a rug-draped chair. In many ways, it looks like thousands of other such photographs, quotidian children's portraits designed to memorialize the individual child. But somehow, this child is suspended against the chair. The child's long christening gown is too long for its body, and it is spread out as though to disguise the child's actual size. The long dress draws attention away from the fur rug draped to the right of the child, against which the child is resting. The child's gown helps to conceal the fact that a person is situated under the rug, holding the child. It's only by scrutinizing the child's pose and the rug against which they are propped that we start to see the signs of a hidden mother. The expression hidden mother refers to a Victorian photographic trend, popular across America as well as England and continental Europe. Hidden mother images, as Linda Nagler's compendium over 1,000 such images shows us, were a popular convention for more than 100 years. These images are pervasive in type and ostensible use. The pose may be found in daguerreotypes, cartes de visite, tintypes, and ambrotypes. They are most commonly sold today as individual images, severed from their original context, but they are also found in family photo albums, suggesting they were a recognized and normalized style common to domestic collections. Max Petch's essay, Children's Pictures, from the Philadelphia Photographer in 1872, describes the shrouded figure as ideally a mother who can give her child a sense of security. It is the mother's role to calm the child and ensure a successful photograph. Indeed, Petch cautions photographers to limit those family members admitted into the studio. Of accompanying persons, he says, only the mother, possibly the nurse, should be admitted, for all other family members will profess to know best how to attract the little one. In a circle, they stand round the child and stare as if they had never seen it before. The mother alone knows best how to keep the child still for the photograph. But the obscured individuals in these images are not always mothers. Often they are clearly fathers or men or women hired by the photographic studio for such a purpose, or family servants, a nanny, a governess, or some other caretaker. The source of the term hidden mother is unclear, but seems to emerge out of collectors' circles in the late 20th century. This term elides complexities of gender and race and class and domestic work. This term, in fact, hides the true identity of the people behind the shrouds through the very descriptor hidden mother. And this is something that I address more directly in another part of this project, in which I'm happy to talk about in the comments. There are several subtypes of hidden mother photographs. Images in which the mother figure is shrouded under a black or dark cloth, in which the figure is out of the frame, but steadying the child with a hand perhaps, in which the figure is out of the frame, but reflected in some way in the image, in which the figure has been scratched or burned out of the image, and in which the figure is disguised as another kind of prop, a rug, a tapestry, a part of the furniture, a plant, and more. It's this last type that I'm going to focus on today, the hidden mother as object. It's easy to see an image such as these without seeing the figures, or seeing it only after second glance. Yet there the mother sits, propping up the child, enabling the image. In images like these, the hidden mother has been transmuted into an object, pure utility. The attempt here is to more completely disguise the mother through this transmutation. The mother is transformed into a backdrop, a thing noted for its use value, and nothing more. The mother here is not just rendered anonymous, she is rendered inanimate, not even notable as a human being. As Nagler has noted, these pictures depict, quote, a genuine attempt to make her blend into the background. This is no longer a process of concealment, but the aim here is one of genuine transformation. In what remains of my presentation today, I'm going to ruminate on this distinct form of hidden mother portrait, its place within the sometimes metaphoric, sometimes literal, Victorian family album, and its larger cultural meaning in relation to another form of representation notable for missing mothers, the Victorian novel. Specifically, today I'll be reading The Disguised Mother alongside the character Lady Isabel Carlyle, the fallen woman from Ellen Wood's 1860 sensation fiction East Lynne. Both novel and photograph challenge us to reconsider the way we picture the Victorian family by repositioning the mother in that tableau. Taken together, novel and photographic subtrend are suggestive of a broader cultural undermining of the mother, while simultaneously and subversively inviting us to reimagine family life. Hidden mother photographs are now a collecting phenomenon, the term directing 21st century buyers to scores of such images on eBay, in antique stores, and the like. The images range from inexpensive cabinet cards or cartes de visite to pricey daguerreotypes, almost always sold as individual images, severed from their original contexts, and frequently with only the vaguest of notes. While the rarer daguerreotypes, in their delicate jewel cases, of course, would have originally existed as separate images, many other types of hidden mother images emerge out of Victorian family albums. As Bordeaux writes, photography serves a family function, the child photograph specifically functioning as a record of climactic moments of social life in which the group solemnly reaffirms its unity. The collecting and organizing entity of this family function is the album. Found within the pages of the album, hidden mother images signify beyond pure utility. They position the mother as prop or support, but in the process, they perhaps inadvertently reimagine family life. Albums have a capacity to reveal details about individual families, to differentiate as they enact social norms. But they also have a capacity to reveal mass-produced sameness. As Elizabeth Siegel writes, most elements of Victorian portrait photographs were standardized, from the backgrounds and props to the poses to the sizes of the images. As she says, most photographs and most albums looked pretty much the same. Siegel notes that families at times resisted this sameness by organizing their albums differently, thereby bucking recommendations and traditions. Quote, some albums separate relatives from the relatively famous, but others allow them to mingle within the book's cardboard pages. Albums do sometimes begin with the patriarch and the matriarch and then fan out from the immediate to the extended family, but they also sometimes have seemingly no apparent order or hierarchy. But this can make it challenging to interpret an album, absent any written notes. It also suggests we should look for signs of differentiation within the seemingly monotonous sameness of these individual poses. If there's a mind-numbing sameness to many of these portraits and albums, this apparent sameness can distract us from subtle but significant differences, among which there are different types of hidden mother photographs. What does it mean to picture a family? The Victorian album offers one answer, but it is challenged by hidden mothers of both photography and fiction. I'm making a heuristic argument here, using the explicit staging of hidden mother photography as a way to intuit and analyze the missing mother of Victorian fiction, and to see some of the broader stakes for the erasure of or displacement of motherhood in 19th century cultural productions. James Kelly notes that it frequently fell to wives and mothers to create photographic albums who serve as curators of the information relating to the images preserved within the album's covers. Kelly reads the mother's trace across the editorializing that frequently accompanies particular images and the overall construction of the album. But through hidden mother images, we may also read her trace within individual images, literally supporting the younger members of the family while obfuscating herself. Siegel observes that through albums, women were able to project selected aspects of their gender identity and hide others, as much consciously playing a role in being reflected by the images they created. And indeed, hiding the self entirely is yet another form of this gender performance. The objective of the album is to organize family forms, to arrange the family in a particular order in relation to those outside the family. But the hidden mother photograph disrupts this work by showing us the mother, is she the mother, as an absence. And much Victorian fiction likewise disrupts this work as well. This is the arrangement of disappearance, of objectification, not as spectacle, but as effacement. Photography's hidden mother is not purely functional, insofar as she is also suggestive of broader attitudes towards motherhood. And indeed, the hidden mother is not an isolated representation of these attitudes, but instead part of a larger culture of undercutting, marginalizing, or obfuscating the mother figure. While this treatment of mothers predates the 19th century, it's notably figured in Victorian fiction. Numerous critics have noted and analyzed the conspicuous absence of mothers or good mothers in Victorian novels. And without replicating any of these arguments, I seek to add to them by suggesting the trend has a corollary in photographic practice. Hidden mother photographs and missing good mothers in Victorian novels represent a multimedia fixation on motherhood as an effaced but present category, and thereby demonstrate a widespread anxiety about motherhood. I use the explicit staging and effacing of family dynamics in hidden mother images to surmise a larger cultural pattern, a pattern we can see at work in different form in Ellen Wood's East Lynne. East Lynne ostensibly centers around a murder mystery, and I'm going to spoil the plot for those who have not read this novel, so my apologies in advance. But this murder mystery plays second fiddle to the novel's scandalous focus, which is the elopement of Lady Isabel and her later melancholic return as an unrecognized governess to her home. Lady Isabel, in short, becomes a hidden mother in her own former home. If we need any indication that the Lady Isabel plot is the true center of the novel, we may read it in the title. The name of the town where the murder occurs is West Lynne, whereas East Lynne is the name of Mr. Carlyle's home, the home Lady Isabel Carlyle dramatically leaves and to which she later returns. Lady Isabel marries Mr. Carlyle rather below her own station as a result of the death of her father, the Earl of Mount Severn. The Earl's many unpaid debts place the hapless Isabel in a difficult position, which the well-meaning Carlyle aims to remedy through marriage. The marriage is a happy one, although Isabel recognizes that she esteems her husband greatly but loves him almost as she would love a brother. Her heart, quite tragically, belongs to her roguish cousin, Francis Levison. Years and 3 children later, Levison convinces Isabel that her husband is carrying on an affair with a local woman, Barbara Hare, and the two then elope. But alas, Levison refuses to make an honest woman of Lady Isabel after her divorce. He abandons her and their out-of-wedlock child, and a dramatic train crash in France kills off the child, and Isabel herself is presumed dead as well. She's merely disfigured, and so when she learns her own son, by Carlyle, is languishing from what is likely consumption back home at East Lynne, she determines to go work as a governess in her former home under the incognito of her altered physical appearance. Her physical appearance is described thus, and I won't read this out loud in its entirety, but you can pause on this slide and read it yourself. Lady Isabel Vane Carlyle thereby becomes Madame Vine. The remaining third of the novel intermittently concludes the murder mystery and develops a subplot in which the good Carlyle runs for political office, but primarily focuses on Madame Vine's new role as governess in her former home, spending much time on her many feelings about her altered position and the fact that she is with her children, but not able to tell them that she is, in fact, their mother. She occupies merely a supporting role in their lives, transformed from the lady of the house to a figure in the background. A hidden mother indeed. Lady Isabel's disguised return home to care for her children affects, in fictional form, a move similar to the hidden mother as object. After all, her presence in the home becomes the novel's focus for several hundred pages. Both fictional and photographic mothers are there to support children. Both are disguised as something they are not. The hidden mother is ostensibly a mother attempting to efface herself in the interest of her child. But that effacement refigures the way we look at the family, in novels, in albums, and in individual photographs alike. Thank you very much.